G'day and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm still talking about this, the DJI FPV drone, and today I'm going to tell you the 10 reasons why you would not want to buy this thing. You would not want to waste your money on this drone. But before I do that, I have to put my cap on backwards. Here we go. Because I'm coming at you as someone who already flies freestyle drones, who already flies high speed, very tough drones made of carbon where I can build them myself and replace the motors, and I buy cheap batteries, all those things. That's why this drone, from my perspective, with my cap on backwards, is not a good buy. So let's go through the reasons why you and me, with our caps on backwards, would not want to buy this drone. So if you're looking for reasons to justify your "this is a crap drone" stance, I'm going to give them to you. I'm going to give them for free. You don't have to pay for these reasons. I'll give them all to you. All right, first of all, number one, and there's no particular order, but the first reason is it's fragile. We know it's fragile. We've seen the videos on YouTube of the arms hanging off. People have done really simple crashes, like Joshua Bardwell nudged a tree and the arm fell off terribly. I've seen other videos where people have done flips into mud and all 4 arms broke off. So it is a fragile drone. It is not made of carbon. It's made of plastic. It's weak when really stressed. So you might get away with some crashes, but sooner or later you're going to break those arms, and that's not good. So it's fragile. That's the first reason why you don't want to waste your money on this thing. Second reason is a bit aligned with the first. When you do break an arm, it's not cheap to repair it. You can't just go out and buy another $5 arm and another $20 motor. Nope. You have to send this thing into DJI, and they will add their labor charges and all that stuff. And I think someone said that the minimum fee is going to be $200. So if you break an arm, $200, you can buy a whole freestyle drone for that. So it is way expensive if you're a freestyler to fly this thing, because we all know that if you're going to really have fun freestyle, you're going to crash. You're going to crash every time you go out. You're going to have at least one crash. And if it's going to cost you $200 a day, after you've paid for those batteries, you'll be totally broke. You have to sell your wife on the street, make her work on the street to pay for your addiction to FPV if you buy one of these. Now, the other thing is, as a freestyler, you will hate the way this flies. If you're someone that likes to get in there and tune the Pids so that it's got no prop wash and it doesn't bounce on rolls and things, you are not going to like this, because the state of tune in this is really bad. It's 2016 bad. If you remember back to 2016, I started in 2015. By 2016, we were getting things tuned, but they flew pretty poorly. Well, this is like that. It's got nothing on a modern freestyle quad. The tune is awful. And you can't change it. There's no access to the PIDs. You can change rates and things, but you can't access the PIDs. You can't tune it yourself. So you're stuck with the factory tune, which may improve over time, but at the moment, it's going to disappoint anyone that really knows how to fly freestyle and likes to tune their own quads. Reason number 5. Did I get that far? No, I don't know. I've lost count. Anyway, the next reason is it's noisy. Yeah, I know freestyle quads are noisy. If you're ripping, you're making a noise. It's not called ripping for nothing, but this is built as a cinema quad, and you might want to buy it as a cinema quad. And if you're going to buy it and use it as a cinema quad, you don't want a noisy quad. Now, I fly freestyle quads to get cinematic footage, and when I do, they are incredibly quiet because they're very light. And if you're flying smoothly, you're not ripping the air apart. You're gently parting it, and it doesn't make a lot of noise. I can fly within 5-6 meters of somebody, and if they're not actually looking at the quad, they don't even know it's flown past. If I'm doing a nice cinematic shot down a row of trees and there's people underneath, they don't even know it's there. This thing, even in normal mode, it is so noisy because it weighs 800 grams. And when you change attitude or whatever, to do that requires a lot of power. These props rip the air and it makes a lot of noise. I was flying in the local park at 30 meters, according to the OSD, and there were some people probably 40 meters away. I was just going forward with about half stick forward. I let go of the stick, and the noise it made to stop caused the people to spin around and look up. I've never had that happen. I've never had people even notice my drones before. And that was at 30 meters. I'm usually way down there at ankle height, where the drone's a lot closer to people. No, this is way noisy. If you want to do covert cinema, that's another reason not to buy this thing. Speaking of 2015 and 2016, this doesn't have voice telemetry. There's no voice telemetry. Goodness me, even the cheapest little multi-protocol radios now have voice telemetry. They've got OpenTX and the, RSSI low, battery low, all the things that you need to know. Instead of you having to keep a constant vigil on the OSD, which is all around the corners of the screen, you want to enjoy that massively immersive feeling of the digital FPV with a wide field of view. That's what you pay your money for. Oh no, phone, one moment. Forgot where I was, interrupted by the phone. Never mind, let's continue. What was I talking about? Yeah, back to 2015. There's no voice telemetry in this thing. It's silent. You have to look at the OSD on the goggles, so you can't rely on the system telling you if your battery's low, your signal strength's getting low, or anything like that. You've got to monitor it. It doesn't have that voice response, which is, say a cheap radio. You can buy a $99 radio today, and it will have OpenTX with voice telemetry, and it will alert you, it will interrupt you and tell you that something needs your attention. You don't have to keep scanning the OSD. So there's no excuse for not having voice telemetry in a modern radio control FPV setup. No excuse at all, but it doesn't have it. Another reason why you don't want to waste your money on this thing, eh? Now also, the next reason is that it only has a single axis gimbal. If you were going to buy one of these because you wanted a camera drone that was a bit racy, you may be disappointed. The gimbal stabilizes in pitch, but not in roll, and in my experience flying the drone, that makes it not as good, nowhere near as good as a Mavic or a Phantom or any other kind of dual axis gimbal stabilized camera platform, because if you're flying in a wind and the wind's blowing from the side, the quad is going to have to lean over and your horizon will be tilted, and you'll have to either, when you rotate that, you'll then have to crop in, so you won't be getting 4K 60. You won't be getting the full resolution. You have to crop in to remove the black areas when you rotate the horizon back, and if you are turning around, the horizon is going to be wobbling. There's some electronic image stabilization, but it's not that strong, it's not that good. In fact, it's not as good as you get in a GoPro, so you just have to live with that. So you will be disappointed that the camera is only gimbaled in one axis. And the next reason why you don't want to buy this thing is that, as I mentioned before, you can't get spares for it. You can get a spare, well, in theory, a spare camera and gimbal. You can get a spare top cover. Woo, get spare propellers. But if you break an arm, let's go back to DJI. You can't just do what you do with your regular carbon freestyle quad and just order a new arm and a new motor. No, DJI will have to fix it. They'll add their labor charges and extra charges, whatever involved. And as I said, I think the minimum charge for an arm repair, someone told me, was about $200. $200 just to replace an arm, which should only cost $15 for the arm and $20 for a motor if you've damaged a motor. That's way expensive. So another reason you can't fix this yourself, another reason why you don't want to waste your money on it. And moving on to reason number 9, if I've got the numbers right, and I've already stuffed that up, so we won't care about that. But another reason why you don't want to buy this thing, if you are outside the USA, it's got a piddly radio and video system. It's piddly. I mean, this digital video system is fantastic, and the range they get out of 25 milliwatts is stunningly good compared to analog. But it's 25 milliwatts. In the USA, I think you've got 1,200 milliwatts. Outside the USA, you've got 25 thousandths of a watt for your video and your radio control signal. And that means you ain't going very far with this thing. And even worse, it's not so much a case of not going very far, because I have seen videos, people seem to be able to fly these things out to about 2,000 meters, 2 kilometers, 1.5, almost 1.5 miles on 25 milliwatts. But that's flying very high and away from sources of noise. If you want to fly this like a freestyle quad or proximity, forget it. I flew in the local park the other day. I went behind a fairly large conifer tree at 200 meters and it fail-safed. It fail-safed because it ran out of radio range at 200 meters. And if you want to fly proximity, if you want to fly inside a bando and out again, forget it. This will fail-safe. And if you've got the return to home fail-safe set to return to home, and it fail-safes in a bando, it's going to try and drill holes in the roof. Not a good look. So another reason why you don't want to waste your $1,300 on this thing. And finally, the last reason, the reason that it'd be a deal killer for me, is that you don't own this drone. You can pay $1,300 and really, you don't own this drone. It's not yours. You can't do what you want with it. What do I mean? Well, it's got geofencing. Yes, I'm here at the airfield in my studio and I can't fly this. I have to go quite a way away to a local park if I want to fly this thing. It does not fly at the airfield because although I have CAA's permission, that's the equivalent of the FAA, our local airspace regulator has given me permission to fly this here. The local council who owns the airfield, they've given me permission to fly it here. The New Zealand National Model Flying Body's given me permission to fly it here. I can legally fly this here, but DJI have said no. We know better than you. You own the drone, but we're not going to let you fly it here. So you don't really own it. We own it. We've got full control. We can say no. And if you fly freestyle, the key part of that word is free. Freedom. That's why we love FPV freestyle so much. It is a freedom that can't be equaled in any other way. You are those dreams where you're flying like a bird, that's what you get with FPV freestyle. To buy a craft that says no, you can't do that unless we let you, that is No, that's wrong. That's totally wrong. So the final and probably most important reason why, as a freestyle drone flyer, you would not buy this is because you cannot fly it where and when you want. DJI will dictate where and when you can fly this thing, and that is totally unacceptable to the culture of freestyle FPV. I think you'll agree. Maybe you don't. Go to the comment section and tell me if I'm wrong about that. But those are the 10 reasons why, as a freestyle FPVer, you don't want to buy this thing. You don't want to waste your money on this. In fact, you don't want to waste twice the money because you have to buy all those batteries, and 3 times the money because you'd be busy replacing arms at an enormous expense. You don't want to waste your child's education fund on this drone. So find something else, stick to your carbon frames, and that's why this is the worst drone in the world if you want to fly freestyle. Now, if you want to know why you would buy it, if you want to know the 10 reasons why this is the best drone in the world, then watch my other video. I'll try and put a card up here or somewhere. There'll be a link in the description. Somewhere you'll find my other video where I tell you 10 jolly good reasons why you should rush out right now and spend your $1,300. That's what you need to do. Now, so I've made enemies in both camps. The people who hate this drone will be really annoyed by my video in which I give you 10 reasons to buy it, and the people who want to buy this drone will be annoyed because I've given you 10 reasons not to buy it. But hey, I've irritated both camps equally, hopefully, and I'd like to think I've provided you with enough objective information to make your own decision. And if you were silly enough to want to buy this drone as a freestyler, then go to the description and you won't find an affiliate link because I don't do that stuff. I don't do that crap. If you want to buy it, go and find somewhere to buy it. I do not make a cent out of this. I always acknowledge that this was sent to me free of charge by DJI. It doesn't influence my reviews one bit, as you've just seen, because I've told you 10 reasons not to buy it. And I like to think my reviews are the most objective on the internet because there are no commercial imperatives. I don't make a cent whether you buy this or whether you don't. It's entirely up to you. Look at the facts, look at the information I've given in those 2 videos, and you decide for yourself. Is this worth $1,300? To some people, it's worth every cent. To others, it isn't. Depends which way you wear your cap. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my Patreon supporters. You make this all possible, and there will be more videos on this coming up because as I fly it more and more, I get more insight. I can tell you things that I don't know at the moment, and it'll be first-hand experience. There'll be more video. There'll be all sorts of stuff to watch. So if you find that interesting, drop back and watch those videos as I put them up. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Comments, questions to the usual place, and I'll spot you later. Bye for now.